got to Belgium, got to Quinton's place. He was nice enough to get my ski all dialed in for me. So we'll go test that at his local lake and then get ready to leave for Poland a little bit later tonight. So yeah, going to be a little bit of a adventure, a little bit of a trip. I think we go Belgium, I think Germany, and then I don't know where else, all over Europe. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun trip. Let's go test some skis and get the show on the road. QB1 racing, good times. Quinton's got his World Cup helmet on. He went so fast he blew the visor off.
Yeah, trying to fix your shit. Always the same fucking guy.
How do you work for this guy?
Yeah.
So testing done, all the boats ran awesome. Yeah, just rode it for a few minutes, feels good to go, feels fast, so ready to go to the races. Go home, back to Quinton Bosch's shop and start packing and hit the road for Poland. So the trip begins. 1,232 kilometers. They say like 12.5 hours. See if Quinton can bring that time down. Lean on the gas. But where we go through? So we go from Belgium to Germany.
Yeah, probably a small part of Holland, Germany.
A little bit of Holland.
And then from Germany I think to Poland, or maybe through Czech Republic, but I'm not sure.
So, got a bit of a tour going on. It's gonna be good. So we're somewhere in Germany. It's like 2:30 in the morning. Just pull it over real quick and have a little sleep on the side of the road, and then hit the road again. Quinton's been putting in the hours, so yeah, I'm pretty smoked still from flying, but yeah, gonna have a quick little sleep and then get cracking. So we just entered Poland, got the final stretch, 313 kilometers left to go. Quinton's still going strong, cruising. What flavor, Quinton?
Dude, they even have like rolled fucking joints, eh? It's for amnesia, you need them. Hey. 3 rolls and amnesia.
So this is our Polish hotel. Pretty cool little setup. Just obviously went down to the race site, dropped off the trailer, and yeah, had a little look around there. We'll show you guys around tomorrow, and then headed back, and I'm gonna get checked in, grab a dinner, and yeah, happy that drive's over. Gonna go grab some food. Got Quentin in my daughter's jeans. That's for Michael.
Use his phone. Michael, yes, there's your phone back. Do I need to explain to you how it works?
Show me where the throttle is.
And this is a ejecto cedo cut. Ding ding.
I'm gonna go down and test QB ski. See how it works for me. So right behind me is where they're doing tech and the safety inspection for the skis. So we just brought our ski through, went through tech. They check the, obviously make the ski, sure the ski's safe, batteries are tight, all of that stuff, and then inspect your helmet, back protector, your gear, make sure that everything's up to spec for these international races. So yeah, got that done, and in that same area they do all the technical inspection for after the race. So like typically the top 3 guys from each moto get pulled in there, skis get checked out to make sure that they conform to the rules in each class that they're busy racing. So right now I think they're busy doing like the lights classes. Those are probably the most tech heavy because you're not allowed to do much to the skis, and any performance advantage is a big thing. So they really check these guys out, and these guys are trying to squeak the rules all the time for sure. So yeah, all these guys getting checked out, and I think they're going to crown some champions here in the next little bit for these lights classes. So today is first day of competition for the amateurs. They're just about to start here around 12:30 Polish time. But yeah, the event looks pretty good. The venue's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but the race site itself, a lot of riders, over 300 different riders are participating in multiple classes, so entries were really good. Obviously this is the Euro finals, and then it is the first round of the Triple Crown. Track is really big, lots of turns. The split courses are nice and long. They seem to be doing a good job with timing it and getting it all well organized. So yeah, it's going to be a good race. All the big boys are here, and we're going to mix it up. So it's going to be tough racing, but it's going to be good, and that's why we come to do this. We want to race the best guys, and this is going to be it for sure. So the water conditions are pretty smooth, but with we have over 20 guys, so there's a good chance we'll do some qualifying, but it's going to be a full gate, so no matter what, I think it's going to be pretty choppy. And with all the turns on the splits, dual split too, so left side of the track has a split as well as the right hand side. The right hand side has a 10 buoy split, which is massive, biggest split course we've ever had. So yeah, it's going to make for some exciting racing and something a little bit different. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So we'll keep it going and show you guys a little bit more of the event. Watch a bit of practice.
I have some problems on my stop though.
The other problem is it's a Kawasaki.
Yeah, exactly. Of course you say that.
You're lucky it's a stock one. So into another long day. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge. Got here, had a couple of problems with my ski, so not going to be able to race it. But luckily Quinton lent me his backup ski, so that's the plan, is to ride that for this event and salvage some points, and we'll see how we can do on it. Actually the ski seemed really good, so yeah, obviously I'm more comfortable on my own boat, but I'll still be able to do a decent job on this, so we'll see how it's going to go. Yeah, definitely been a challenging couple days, that's for sure. Yeah, but we're getting through it, and we'll keep it positive, so we'll keep it moving. So this is Quinton's backup boat that I'm going to be racing. So yeah, actually running really good. Actually feel pretty comfortable on it considering it's not mine. I always prefer riding my own boats, obviously, but funny enough, when I got onto this, his setup is actually very similar to mine, so it actually didn't feel too bad. I basically just changed a set of handlebars, and that was the only change that I made to the boat at all. So yeah, crazy enough, he's a lot taller than me, and I was able to leave basically leave the pole length, ride plate, everything is exactly the way he had it set up, and actually worked really well for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the first practice and then just see how it feels, possibly add a little bit more nose pressure to the boat, just depending on how it feels out on the track. The track's actually looks really good from the beach, but we have to see how it goes. The thing is, it's got a really long first turn, so you got to make sure that you got enough top speed to get you to the first turn near the front, or try and get a hole shot, because it's going to be pretty critical with the depth of the field. But then after that, there's a lot of turns, so obviously with a little bit more nose pressure, the boats turn better, but it's finding that balance between the two that's so important. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. But yeah, power wise, the boat's actually really strong. It's a GP1, you can't go wrong. So thanks QB for lending me the ski. Hopefully you can get some results on this bad boy. Give me those super jet sound effects. So what's the word, Rich? What's your feelings on your first Polish trip?
It's been great.
How's the weather yesterday?
The weather sucked. That's some serious rain.
Danny giving us a tune-up, making sure we're ready to go. What'd you say, Michael? Ready to roll?
Yeah, boat will be pretty fast.
Is it? Quentin's got his new jet pilot wetsuit, board shorts on. And my
1 second, eh? To my socks. My little socks. This is factory, dude.
What is
Only
it?
get it when you're factory.
What does it say?
What? Little?
Little.
I do have something that you don't have. How about this?
I don't wear porno pink. Porno purple. Porno purple.
This is the shit. You get this when you're real, like shit, pilot, like bam, like to the roof.
I think that color is what they had left over, and they didn't know anything else to do with it, so they sent it to Quentin.
Doesn't matter. The only one who has it.
You want to...
Ah, it's fine. So finished up day 1 of racing. So Moto 1 was pretty intense. Ended up jumping the start and obviously had to start with my hand on my head. So after that, basically took off in last place, and 22 guys on the line, and I was able to make my way back up to 6th. So I mean, honestly, that was a pretty tough and good ride. Past 16 of some of the world's best riders, and it was rough going through the pack, banging a lot of guys. Guys were going at it like 150%, so you had to be really aggressive, and it was pretty gnarly. So I was happy to get through that one and just make it to the finish with my ski in one piece, because there was a couple points out there where I was like, man, this could go really bad. So yeah, took a couple chances, passed a couple guys, and a couple of these guys I passed them, and then the next corner they'll just bonsai me, and I'd come from 20 or 30 seconds behind them to get there, to pass guys, caught them, passed them, and then the next corner they just bonsai'd me. So yeah, had made some lucky moves, got around those guys, and ended up in 6th place behind Valentin. And yeah, you know, the guys that were in the lead of that race, Quinton, Kevin, Nacho, Ralph, these are like the world's very best guys. So you know, to get all the way back up to 6th, I was pretty happy with that. Moto 2 got actually a much better start, didn't jump. So I was able to just hit the first turn. I actually got to the first turn really good. Nacho and I came through the first turn like basically bumper to bumper. He pushed me wide going around the first turn, and then Kevin, I think, was able to get up the inside of us, and then came out onto the front straightaway, like right next to Raphael. I was able to stay on the inside of Raphael through the first big right-hander, so I was able to get around him, and then I was able to pass Nacho through the first split. And then he basically took off, and Kevin was leading, Martin Manny 2nd place, Quinton in 3rd, and myself in 4th. And we pretty much stayed like that the whole race. We were like within a couple seconds of each other from the start to the finish. The track makes for decent passing when you're coming through the track with slower guys, but my feeling is like when you with the top guys, these guys know how to ride, they don't really make any mistakes, and it's pretty tough to pass a guy that's like really good. So you know, I think we just basically sat in a train. Nacho was behind me, and I think Raphael was behind him. So yeah, caliber of riders is insane. All these guys can win. A lot depends on the start, but that's it.
He really wants to die, that guy.
I'm sorry, that's the
Low techno in this place. Woo! This guy's super pumped. I want to win!
Here's the way, Michael. Here's the way. It's coming, Michael. Better be ready, man. Woo!
Hey, living like this, I think I need you. Hey, now living like this, and I feel this low. Living like this, I think I need you.
Tim Raff.
Quinton was having too much of a good time. He was trying to race before we got to the race site.
Have to pay fucking 800 slutties.
800 bucks spot ticket. So race day, day 2. All the boys are getting ready. 2 more motos. gonna be a tough day, but it's gonna be good. So Moto 3 went actually pretty good. I was able to get a good jump off the gate. Raphael just pinched me at the first turn, and we came out just behind Martin Manny. And yeah, we raced the whole race pretty much in that position. Martin was just in front of Raphael, and I was all over Raphael pretty much the whole moto. So yeah, it was a long, hard moto, but we were all super tight, a couple seconds apart. At times I was less than a second off the back of Raphael. Just couldn't get away past. He was still riding good, obviously, but I felt like my pace had improved. And obviously I was using Quinton's ski, which, I mean, the ski was awesome, but it's not my own boat. So the more I raced it, the better and more comfortable I got. So my results also got better throughout the 4 motos. Obviously first moto, jumped the start, came from last to 6th though, which honestly, that's pretty much all you can ask for against that caliber of rider. Moto 2, I was able to get a 4th, but the first through 4th where I was super tight. So we were like within 3 buoys of each other from 1st to 4th, a few seconds across the finish line. And the track was hard to pass on. It was weird, like coming through the pack and passing the lower riders, the track worked fairly well for passing because of the dual splits. But when you got to like the top 5 or 6 guys, it was really tough to pass on that track. I think the guys, I mean the top guy, there's a lot of turns on the track, and all the top guys obviously know how to turn really good. So when you got into the top 3, 4, it was really difficult to make any passes. And yeah, in Moto 2, just sat in 4th place, right behind Quinton across the finish line. And obviously Moto 3 went better. Ended up getting 3rd in the moto, but then afterwards they ended up docking Martin Manny for not holding his line to the first turn. I guess that is what it is. Moved me up into 2nd for that moto. Gave Raphael the win, but that tightened up the points big time into the last moto. So basically heading into the last moto, Raphael was leading, Quinton was in 2nd, I was in 3rd. I was 7 points off the lead at that point. Winning the moto to 2nd place is 7 points. So going into the last moto, I knew what I had to do, and that was basically try and win the moto. So that was the goal, and the kind of the expectation that I set going to the last moto. I was going to lay it all on the line and go for it. Got a good spot?
I hope so.
Quinton Murphy, 2nd place.
For Moto 4, I ended up being able to get pole position on the outside split. That was honestly a big advantage. The way they did the starts here with going down the line and then having just a light which went off and then you had to wait for the band. Being closer to the center of the bands where the band snapped first, you can hear the click of the band snapping, and being able to kind of react quicker. I knew I was going to be in a good position in that final moto with that, basically that starting position. So yeah, I was actually really confident. The boat that Quinton had lent me was running really good, so I knew it would be pretty fast to the first turn. And yeah, lined up, I had Kevin Ryder on the right hand side of me. I was able to get the jump. I was out the gates really good, and almost hole shotted. Martin just pinched me at the first turn, and I came around in second place on the outside. And then when we merged, it was Martin, Raphael, and then myself and Anton Krutels basically neck and neck going into the first right-hander before we head into the first splits. So I knew I had to make a quick pass on Antoine straight away. He had a couple bad motos, so he wasn't really in it. I knew that I had to beat Raphael to have a chance at anything, so I was going for it 1000%. So we merged. I was already kind of like looking ahead, I guess, like just really trying to like get in there and make sure I got around Antoine really quick and then head after Raphael. But unfortunately, Antoine and myself kind of jammed each other up into the first right-hander. I thought I was going to have a little bit more space. He obviously didn't really see me that well, and we ended up coming together. But what actually happened was, right when we got into that turn, he pinched me into the buoy, and I didn't really have anywhere to go because I was fully committed to making the pass and getting on the inside. But right as we came together, I was steered on the inside of him, trying to, like, obviously I had nowhere to go because I had the buoy on my right and I had him on the left pinching me off. But right in the apex of the turn, the steering nozzle sheared off the pump. So it freaking sent me. So I had a massive crash. I tried to hang onto the boat. At that point, I didn't know that the nozzle had broken off. I just thought I'd gone over the bars from hitting him, or was wash or something, because it happened at 65 miles an hour in a turn, and there was a lot of spray. There's a lot going on. Adrenaline's pumping, so I didn't really know what had happened, but it sent me off the boat. It blew my right hand straight away off the bars, and I hung on with my left arm, which then rolled and twisted and almost ripped my arm like right off. Felt like it ripped my arm right off my body. And eventually I heard a big pop in my shoulder, and the boat was out of my hands, and that was it. Quickly tried to swim one arm back to the boat. I knew something was wrong with my shoulder because I could feel grinding, and like I've broken enough stuff over the years to know when something's like really wrong. And the course marshal came and grabbed me, and just trying to get onto the sled, I felt like my arm was dislocated. It felt completely wrong. So anyways, I jumped. He got me back to the boat. I'm a racer, obviously. I was like, screw it, I'm going to try and carry on, you know. And I could feel my arm. My arm was at that point super numb then. I just didn't have any feeling. And I jumped on the boat, and I tried to trying to ride, and I was moving my arm around, trying to figure out if I could get it back into the socket or whatever was going on. And then I grabbed the bars because I didn't have too much pain right away. I just had like massive discomfort, and the function on my shoulder wasn't working. So I knew something was wrong, but I was like, I'm just going to go and see what happens. So I tried to carry on riding, and I couldn't figure out that I couldn't turn the boat. So whenever I was turning, the boat wouldn't turn, and I couldn't see my shoulder, and I just thought maybe my shoulder's still out of joint and it's not giving me the power to move the bars. So I just tried to carry on, did about half a lap, and then I knew there's just not, like, I just couldn't even make the turns in the split. So I just got on my knees, cruised back to the finish line, and when we got back, we saw the nozzle had broken off, and basically my arm was done. So yeah, that was the end of the event. It was, the racing was insane, super fast guys, crazy fast skis. It was a battle, a massive battle. So yeah, unfortunately it didn't end up well for me. I felt like I freaking fought my ass off that whole event, came back like and was moving back up from like a tough situation. Obviously started off with having to borrow a ski. I've never had to do that before in my life of racing, but honestly Quinton was awesome and he gave me a really good boat, so there was actually no excuse there. The boat was awesome. I did have to get used to it, but I made no changes on that boat besides changing the bars. But it is just a little bit of just getting, it's more like being comfortable or used to it. But the boat itself was amazing. But yeah, coming from passing 16 riders in Moto 1, I think I made the most passes out of anybody by miles on that racetrack because it was tough to pass on. Getting back into 6th after a hand on the head start, that was pretty good. Moto 2, like we were right in there. Moto 3 ended up with a 2nd, and Moto 4 I was going into the turn in 3rd. The leaders were right in front of me. What could have happened, or the outcome could have been really different for me. And I mean, I lay it all on the line. I took the chances. I was aware of the circumstances of it going bad, and I rolled the dice, and it didn't work out for me this time, but it normally does. So you know what, I'll take it. Getting back here to Belgium, Quinton's going to take me to go see a doctor real quick because I fly back to the US, and we're just going to quickly see if we can figure out what's going on with my arm. Yeah, so deal with that, and then jump on the plane, get back to the US, go see a surgeon, figure out what the next step's going to be, and just try and get healthy to race the finals. So not the ideal situation, but it could always be worse. And yeah, thankful for coming to Poland. It was a challenge, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. Got to race the best guys in the world, and I'm still in it. Even at my age, I can still run with these guys. So on my day, it can go my way. So unfortunately this time it didn't, but next time we'll see. Thanks guys for watching. We'll try and get this shoulder put back together for finals, and then on to King's Cup in December. So cheers, have a good one, see you guys in the next video.